The disciples knew what they knew, and they could see evidence that Jesus is risen. Mary looked at the same thing they saw, and she was still sad, discouraged, and wanted to know who took my Jesus. I want to tell you, I am looking at some of your lives, and I see the hand of God working in your life in ways that you don't see. You're still disturbed and concerned and confused and wondering why God is letting you go through it. And I see the hand of God giving you strength to go through it and come out stronger than you went in. As we went through our Good Friday service Friday afternoon, the preachers here and the preachers from the upper room, they outlined the sayings of Jesus Christ, but they did it in nice clothes, in a nice sanctuary, with a nice PA system, talking on a nice wooden podium. They repeated the words of Jesus from all this nice stuff. But Jesus uttered those words hanging from a cross with nails in his hands and feet, thorns in his head, back whipped and side pierced. And Jesus uttered those words in pain and agony. But when they buried Jesus in the tomb, this sister was sitting by, watching her teacher, watching her Lord, his lifeless, bloody body, broken, disfigured, being placed in a tomb. And they said after Joseph and Nicodemus wrapped his body in the linen and used 100 pounds of ointment, 100 pounds of ointment on his body, and then had the tomb closed with a stone. They left, and she stayed. She loved my Jesus. She loved that I'm sure somebody had to make her leave the cemetery. Body lifeless, broken, unrecognizable. She loved him so much that she stayed as long as she could stay. And then as early as she could, she went back. She got up early Sunday morning, Felicia, in the dark. She got up early Sunday morning, and the gospel writers capture it in different ways, but John says she got up and she went and seemingly was alone with a heavy heart, grieving the loss of her loved one. With a heavy heart, she got up early. As old folks say, before day. She got up to go see about her departed loved one. She got up early. It was dark. She was alone. But she loved him enough that she didn't let the darkness keep her from trying to get to him. She loved him enough that if she had to go all by herself, she decided, I'll go all by myself. Early in the morning, I'm going to be in the presence of my Savior. Now listen, I don't want to throw no stones because we got folks here that we might not see till next Easter. But I want to say to you that some of us won't get up at 10 o'clock to come see the living Savior. She got up on that resurrection morning, not knowing he was resurrected. She just wanted to be in his presence. If he's lifeless, I just want to be in his presence. If he's broken, I just want to be in his presence. I love him enough. And I want to be in his presence. She pressed her way into the presence of Jesus. Alone in the dark, she pressed her way. Are we pressing our way into the presence? Now, I know you got up and you got dressed and you came for the service. You came for the presentation. I know you got up, but did you come to be in his presence? Or did you just come because you got this day marked on the calendar? She got up. She came, not knowing he was risen. But when she got there and she saw the big stone had been rolled away, it scared her because somebody had taken her Jesus away. I don't know what kind of Jesus you got. I'm assuming since you're here and online that you got the real Jesus. But I saw the pandemic took some folks' Jesus away because they lost their religion. I saw the president took some folks' Jesus away because they didn't have the living Jesus. Maybe they were still looking for the Jesus that was in the tomb or the Jesus that was on the cross. When she got there, she said, somebody has taken my Jesus. So she runs to get some help. She runs to get Peter, and she runs to get John, and they come back. And they look in and they go in, and she stands outside and they look in and they go in and they see the clothes. Now, y'all, this I need you to help me because some of our stuff doesn't translate in the culture today. But they didn't have the embalming process that we have. E.H. Ford wasn't working back then. Yeah, so they didn't have that embalming process. So what Joseph and Nicodemus and their team did was they wound the body in linen. They wrapped, and then they rubbed that 100 pounds of ointment over the linen so that when it dried, it became hard. It became like a rock. So I want you to understand, Jesus, the rock, is in the tomb, covered by a rock, dug out of a rock, and then they put stuff on his body that gets hard like a rock. And when the disciples, I wish I should have got his name. The gentleman who did the research on the burial of Jesus, trying to disprove the resurrection of Jesus, ended up studying and getting saved himself. Because the research of the methods at that time and the language, our interpretation doesn't capture it. But the grave clothes were lying there, hardened in the form of Jesus' body. So there's no way if somebody went in to take him out that they could have taken him out without disturbing the linen. And if he had miraculously come through in his humanity and been revived in his human state, there's no way he could have got out of the wound linen clothes without disturbing it. So when the disciples saw the clothes lying like they were, they believed. That don't mean much to us, but at the time, Mary was looking in, stooping in, looking in, and she saw the same thing they saw, but she wasn't able to interpret what she saw. I had a conversation with Elder Polk yesterday, and he was telling me about all of the designs that he has to do at his company and how he has to look at these designs for 8 hours consecutively to make sure that there are no errors, and when your internet wires and all that stuff goes up, that you don't have any problem. He said it takes, Pastor, we have to look at it about 8 hours. He said, I'm going to show you one day, Pastor, I'm going to show you what it looks like when we're looking at that stuff. I said, Elder, you can show me, but I probably won't be able to see what you see because you've been trained to see what you see. I want to say to us today, the same way Mary was looking at those grave clothes lying, the same way Mary was looking at that napkin folded up, The disciples knew what they knew, and they could see evidence that Jesus is risen. Mary looked at the same thing they saw, and she was still sad, discouraged, and wanted to know who took my Jesus. I want to tell you, I am looking at some of your lives, and I see the hand of God working in your life in ways that you don't see. You're still disturbed and concerned and confused and wondering why God is letting you go through it. And I see the hand of God giving you strength to go through it and come out stronger than you went in.